Hi and welcome to today's video. I have some manga to share with you today. Now technically this is my May haul, but in terms of a monthly haul, it's kind of like this month. As in, it's like for me, not normal people, for me. There is a reason for that, and that reason is most of the volumes that I've bought this month haven't been in person, they've been online. And also I saved most of them for unboxing videos, whereas usually I'd open a good chunk and then save a few. I saved all of them for unboxing videos. Okay, that's not quite true. I saved most of them for unboxing videos. There were a few I did open and you will see which ones they were. This month is a little light, but I have actually read quite a few of the volumes. For me, usually I try to not read them until after I film this video just because it makes it a bit easier to pick them off the shelf and stuff. But I have read a good few, so I have a lot to talk about, do not worry. So this should still be a decent length video. I hope you enjoy it. But just before I get started, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, woo! I am still in the middle of Isekai month when I am filming this, so I am still doing lots and lots of Isekai content. That should all be wrapped up by the time you see this publicly. So if you haven't gone and watched all my Isekai videos, go check those out. Go. I don't know why they're over here, but they're over here now. I'm really trying to get ahead with some of my videos, so do check out my channel memberships if you're interested in seeing all my videos early. Basically, as soon as I've edited them, you get access. Cat has come to say hello. Say hello. She does not want to say hello. Will you sit quietly? Okay, sit quietly there. Okay, also check out my social media and affiliate links found down below, and also use code Caketinz on Sci-Fi for 10% off, woo! Okay, but let's get started with the manga haul with cat in hand apparently. I don't know if you can see the stacks off to the side. I don't think you can, but we've got stacks as you probably saw in the thumbnail. You want to see it? You want to sniff it? Does it smell whiffy? Do you know why it smells whiffy? This is because I got this volume from Mainly Manga on Instagram. We have Alice in Murderland Volume 1. So Mainly Manga is not a fussy cat. I was about to say fussy cat. Mainly Manga is not a fussy cat. He is on Instagram. He's a lovely, lovely guy. Lord of Shoujo? Is that what they call him? He does a lot of manga exchanges, and it was like, why have we not done one? And there was a series that he had that I've had issues with. We'll get to it because there are a few volumes that he gave to me in this stack. I was like, damn it, I can't believe you have this series. And he was like, well, I don't want it. Do you want it? I was like, yeah, okay. And it kind of evolved into, we sent a good, nice stack of manga to each other. So he didn't just send me manga, I sent him a box of manga as well, and this was one of the ones he sent to me. He sent me a picture of his like giveaway stash. I wanted to mock and be silly about the fact he had a giveaway stash, but I also have a giveaway stash, so I don't know why I found it amusing. I've got one too. So what I thought would be most neat to get off him was a bunch of volume 1s basically, and this was one of the volume 1s he had. Now I have actually picked up volume 3 of this, so when I saw he had volume 1 and I was like, can I nab that, please? I have seen a few more copies here and there about. I had a thought it was a really hard series to find. I'm thinking I might be able to piece it together as I so often manage to do with series. Don't know anything about it. I believe it's a series that Geeky Dreams has been collecting or trying to collect. I feel like I'm now covered in cat hair. I feel it like all over my face. I feel itchy. Not because I'm like allergic, but just like gets up your nose and it tickles your face because it's so soft. Oh, I'm just gonna itch. So volume 1 of that, and I have volume 3 as well, and I don't think it's an overly long series. I want to say like 12 volumes. I think it's gory though. I think it's gory. I have a lot of Alice manga series at this point. I must have like 2 shelves worth of Alice series. Next we have another volume that Mainly Manga so kindly donated to the cause, and that is Arpeggio of Blue Steel 1. This is a series I have been wanting to try. I want to say it's out of print, but again, I don't know for sure, so I don't want to say for sure, but it's very hard to find. I have volume 17 that I picked up for £3 on Blackwell's a while ago, and volume 1, I think that's it. Sometimes I see random volumes here and there about, but I rarely even see it on like World of Books, so I don't have high hopes for it. I understand it's a series about like submarines. I just thought that sounded quite cool. I used to love submarines as a kid, so I was like, yay! Neat series. What do you mean I can't find it? As we have Boys Abyss Volume 1. This was a newish release from Viz, so I pretty much picked it up and read it. I must say, I don't think I went in with no expectations. I didn't know anything about the story. I had no idea what it was about. I just knew a lot of people were like, it's dark. And yeah, to be fair, it is dark. It has very dark themes. You name a dark theme and it kind of has it. More cat hair. Or maybe it's Caitlin hair. Considering I don't like series that are like sad, I do think that I still enjoyed this one, although I'm not sure enjoyed is the right word. Like, it kept me captivated whilst I was reading it. Now, reading it as like my bedtime read, I don't think was a good idea because it did make me feel kind of down before I went to sleep. It wasn't a nice sleep. Didn't sleep well. Though I did get a bit baffled by the last couple of pages, so I'm not going to overly spoil it, but basically the way it ended, I got confused that it continued on, that I thought it was a one-shot when I got to the end of the volume, and then I realised that it says volume 1 and also we got like a preview of what was happening in the next volume. So I think I've gotten confused. I think that I don't quite understand what's happened, or I have understand what's happened, and that's the point. But I'm confused either way. But I did actually find it a compelling read. I think there's a difference between, you can say something was a good read even if the topics aren't good. If the story is written in a way that like it captivates you and brings you into the story, even if the topics aren't nice or good, you can still say like, oh yeah, this was horrific, and it had all of these horrific themes around it, but it took me like 5 minutes to read because I was really compelled by it. I think there's a difference between that, and that's kind of what I kind of felt with this volume. It wasn't overly nice, but I was drawn in, is what I'm trying to say. As we have Business Proposal Volume 1, and this is also a new volume by Easy Press. I did quite enjoy this one as well. See, I've already read like, we're on 50-50, which is not bad for me. We'll just not keep going at 50-50 probably. Girl needs money, friend ropes her into going on a blind date that she doesn't want to go on to, and guy on blind date is like, yeah, let's get married because I have to get married, you'll do. And he kind of becomes fixated on her, and then there's a whole thing because he thinks she's one person but she's actually stood in for a friend. It's fun, there's like some drama and stuff, and full colour as well. It is a full colour volume, and I really like how thick that is. I feel like often with these A-Press volumes they're really, really thick, so it takes me like twice as long to read these as say a normal manga volume. Man, it's different. I almost don't feel as bad about how much they cost. No, that's a lie. So I keep hunting for cheaper places. I really hope we get a bunch of different colours for the series. I hope the volume's a different colour though. I really, really like this colour. This is such a nice colour, nice green. I like it. Next we have Children of the Whales at 21, and I don't have much to say about this series. I am up to date with collecting it, but not up to date with reading it. It is quite a thin volume, just Children of the Whales are quite thin volumes, so I'm hoping it wouldn't take too long to go through a lot of it. I also understand it is complete in Japan. I can't remember how many. I want to say 23 off the top of my head, but I'm not too sure. I did pick this up in a 3 for 2 in Traveling Man. I can't remember what else with. Maybe we'll find it when we go through the stack. Still, they have outstanding covers. As we have Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess Volume 7. Now this was one of the series that I talked about in my Isekai Month in the Villainess video. Now at the time of recording I had not read my Volume 7 yet, but I have since. I think a problem I had with this volume is because it'd been quite a while since I read Volume 6, I'd kind of forgotten what had happened because an arc was just wrapping up. We pretty much had a chapter to wrap an arc up, and then we dived into another one and I was like, wait, what happened? I vaguely remembered now, but because it quickly got into another arc, I kind of just forgot about it. It's still a fun, silly villainess isekai though, with over-the-top action and drama, and I did enjoy it once it got into the next arc, and we had kind of it's just fun. It had a bit of all the different things I like. So, but yeah, I think it's one that I don't think it lends itself to big gaps between volumes just because the arcs kind of are so intertwined. I don't find it's as easy to get back into it. Like, I've forgotten everyone's names. I had no idea what was happening. Next we have Delicious in Dungeon 12, the series that I didn't realise had the word in the title until I picked up like volume 10. Now, I am not up to date with this series, but Ben is. And Ben really likes it. And Ben said that Ben's read this volume, and he said that he feels like it's coming towards an end. Now, there are only 12 volumes in Japan, so I have no idea if it's going to be coming to an end, but he was like, that's kind of the impression he's getting reading it. Also, there is an anime coming for this, I think, and everyone's really, really excited because everyone seems to love the series. I mean, it's a fun series. I have read up to maybe 4 or 5. I'm about halfway through. Oh wait, there's 6. 6 will be halfway through now. Damn it, I'm less than halfway through now. If you like dungeon crawlers and you like your food, try this series. Okay, next volume on the stack. I have so much to say about it. It's probably going to be half the video. Next we have Disobey the Duke If You Dare, Volume 1. Now, why do I have so much to say about this? Well, first off, I just have a lot of opinions on, I think, the story, but also the volume itself. If you are not aware, Disobey the Duke If You Dare is a series originally published on the Manta app, I think. Manta have decided to try and branch into physical publishing. Exhibit A. Disobey the Duke If You Dare Volume 1 is the first volume series that they are trying out physically, and so I've read quite a few articles about it, and the gist I was getting was they kind of want to see if there's like interest in the stories physically. And one of the articles I read said that they're hoping that if they can prove that there's a demand for their series, they might be able to license them to other publishers that they might not do them themselves. I wasn't too clear on that bit. Now, there is a pain point with this volume. It is only available on Amazon US only. Now, they do ship worldwide, but you have to pay shipping. And also because it's like only one retailer, I feel like you're less likely for it to go on sale or find it on sale or anything because it's just Amazon US. Now they do want to try and expand at some point, but for now, because I assume like initially starting in one place, it's Amazon, it's easier, I don't know. Only available on Amazon US, and then you have to pay shipping. Now, I thought I read somewhere they were doing like a print-on-demand thing with Amazon, which I know they do because I know other people who've done it, where you publish your books through Amazon, and when someone then orders it, they kind of print the book to be shipped out for you. But I can't find that article anymore, so maybe I dreamt that. So this volume retails at $20 US, which actually works out about the same kind of price that I think a Easy Press volume is, because it works out I think about £15-16, and that's how much you tend to see an Easy Press volume in the UK for retail. And then for shipping I needed to pay $9, which I can't remember how much that basically for the volume and the shipping I paid £23. And you know how much I like buying things on sale or discounted. This was really hard to do, but I bought it when I was really, really sick, and I was like, I'd been umming and ahhing because I was interested, but also, so expensive, and I'd been sick, and I was like, let's just do it. However, when it arrived, it actually came damaged. I don't know how easily I can get it to show. Come on, focus on that, please. So you can see there that it is ripped at the top of the spine, and it's like kind of gone through to the pages. Now, normally, you know, you've seen my secondhand hauls. I don't care if things are ripped that much, to be fair. As long as I can read it, I'm not fussed. However, when I have paid the most I have ever paid for a volume, ever, I would like it to be in a good condition. I was not impressed. Especially, it shipped over from the States, and it came in like more flimsy packaging than when I buy something from Amazon UK. It came in the flimsiest mail bag. Now maybe it was because I only paid $9 shipping, I don't know, but I'm surprised that that's the only damage that it got. So when I complained to Amazon, they got very confused at first, because first off, it said it hadn't even delivered, and I was like, I'm literally holding it, I can send you pictures, and they're like, no, we can't do anything till it's been marked delivered. Fine. But they then said, we're really sorry, and because I was like, well, either I want some money back or send me another volume. I don't want it damaged if I'm paying this much money. And they're like, oh, it's okay, we'll give you a full refund. So this is no longer the most expensive volume I have bought in my collection, because I didn't pay for it. Well, I did, and then I got a refund. I'm quite happy. I don't mind the dent anymore because it was free. Okay, I have ranted on enough. Actually, no, one more thing I want to say about the volume is I really like the hollow on the cover. It reminds me a lot of like Abandoned Empress, I was gonna say Easy Press, but it's like pre-Easy Press. It's Empress still. That has hollow on it, and it's so pretty. That is so pretty. Lovely. Let me talk about the actual story. I think, how long did I talk about? I did an Instagram post the day I got this and read it, and I had so much to say that I hit the character limit. I've never hit the character limit writing a review on Instagram before. I didn't realise there was a character limit. So I was very annoyed because I had to cut a lot out. So this is my outlet for the rant. Now on to the actual story. I equally wasn't too impressed. I don't know if I just had such high expectations with the amount of faff that I had to go through for it, but I feel like I was reading it even more critically than I might normally. Now, it was a series that had like everything I normally enjoy. It had pretty pictures, it had a dark and broody lead, it had some steamy moments, though they weren't that steamy, really. I just think I felt let down. Let me actually tell you a bit about the story. Our main character is this girl, and I could never remember their names. Oh, her name's Lily. Okay, Lily. So Lily and the Duke. So Lily has just had a horrible bout of luck. All her husbands seem to keep dying. I don't think she's at fault. She seems a bit too tepid to be the one at fault. And her dad's like, well, you need to go get married again or you would kicking you out of the family. Something like that. Basically, yeah, I know you're still in mourning and we're at the funeral and stuff, but I've lined you up a new husband. Off you go. And she's like, okay. And she is set up to marry this Duke guy. So she is sent off to his castle, manor, estate, whatever. And she's like, okay, I don't know what he looks like. All I know is that he's really, really scary. Una sat on the stairs watching me. It's really creepy. All she knows is these horror stories about what a terrible person, brutal, angry, violent person he is, but doesn't know what he looks like in the slightest. And he doesn't want her to know what he looks like. She turns up and he insists on her wearing like blindfolds or covering her eyes, or she has to keep her eyes closed. It's like pretty much she turns up and he's like, it's nice to meet you, while she's wearing a blindfold. And then they have a night together while she's blindfolded. And then he kind of it feels a bit weird, especially she's gone through all this and he's like, no, don't look at me. And his reasoning is he thinks he's ugly or he's scary. I don't get it. But also, like, I think my main problem, like, I think I could be fine with all that, because it's like, ooh, mystery, ooh, what does he look like? I think I could be fine with all that, but the pacing really, really threw me off. I struggled to follow it, and it really bothered me. I had to keep going back, because, like, things would jump ahead so quickly. I'd be like, did I miss something? I don't know what happened. I don't know what's happening. I'll need to reread that again. It seemed to fly by so quickly and so aggressively. I just got a bit lost. I just got a bit lost. Maybe it's just the beginning of the series setting up and getting into it, but I found it hard. I really found it hard going. But the pictures, the dresses she is shown in, absolutely gorgeous. I cannot fault like the art style or the coloring or anything. There's some of the pages like this where he's got her blindfolded. It just reminds me of like an Otome game, like panel where you've got like where you get like a nice big full screen of art. That sort of thing, and there's a lot of those that remind me of that. So overall, I did enjoy it. I just think I ended up looking at it more critically because how expensive it is, basically. I think if you're in the US, maybe give it a go if you're interested in if you like these kind of series, but if you're international, maybe read it on the Manta app instead of getting this physical copy. I have been talking for so long about this one volume, and there is other volumes here. Next we have Do Not Say Mystery Omni 1-2. Now, I have to admit, I have slightly been putting off reading this. Actually, what was really neat was my volume seemed to come out, my volume arrived before it came out in the US. I hadn't seen anyone else in the US, anyone else get their copy before mine arrived. I posted it, I think, on like the Discord and Twitter, and I had people commenting like, that's not out in the US. How have you got a copy? And I'm like, I don't know. I pre-ordered it, and then they posted it to me. So I did almost feel a bit bad that I didn't read it. I haven't read it yet because I got it so early. I am a bit worried because it has a lot of hype about it, and often I find series that have a lot of hype about them just can't meet that level for me. This is why I like to go into series not knowing anything except maybe, oh, I'm really happy that series got licensed. That sort of thing is fine. All the hype for this one, it makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. I mean, I will read it and I'll try and not think about everything everyone else says, but I feel like I do anyway. I will do. That's why I keep putting off reading Chainsaw Man. Next we have Elden Ring, The Road to Erdtree, Volume 1. Now, I bought this for Ben. He has played Elden Ring. I have not. I do not intend to either. Which is weird because, like, I absolutely adore open world games. They are my favourite kind of game. But the one thing I have to avoid more than anything else in games is the sort of things that make me angry. I do get very easily angry at games. Very angry. So to that end, I tend to just avoid the sort of games that will make me angry. And Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Elden Ring, all those ones are ones that I've seen other people play and I watch and I go, I am feeling angry just watching you play. I am not going to play this game. I'll just get too angry at things. There's other games that I have to avoid because they've made me angry in the past. Also, it's just not my kind of like art style. It's quite dark and gloomy and creepy. I don't really like creepy. I watched Ben play some Elden Ring. I don't think he finished, and it was always fun watching him wander around the map. But it was just, no. I just get too angry. But he said that he really did enjoy this. He enjoyed it more than he thought he would, which is always nice. And what did he say was the first panel? So this, there you go. One of the very first things you see in the manga is buttocks, as it should be. Next we have a Faku, and I'm not sure what my post-its are, so I'm hopefully covering the only bad bit on this cover. And we have Cherry Gals, and it is a one-shot. I would say it's probably one of the more disturbing Fakus that I have read. It introduced me to something that I did not know was a thing. I did not know what Shota was. Now I do. I was like, Ben, it's got all this weird stuff in it. It was like, oh, Shota. And I was like, what's that? I feel like the first chapter like really hits hard with like literally every single thing you could potentially think is problematic. Like really hits you at the first chapter. Like there was so much in it and I was like, okay, this is wrong with it, this thing's wrong with it, this thing's wrong with it. Do you know what's most upsetting though? This is probably one of the... It has really nice artwork. It is really nice artwork for what it is. Probably one of the nicer Faku art styles I've read. Actually, a lot of Faku manga is really nice, pretty art. Oh, just... that makes it okay. Right? As we have Fiancé Chosen by the Ring, Volume 4, and I am a little annoyed about this because I don't have Volume 3 yet. But I'm supposed to. Basically, Ben did a big order of manga for me for Christmas. Volume 3 just didn't seem to arrive, and when I was like, can you chase up on it? Could you place the order? He never got round to it. I'm calling you out, Ben. And he was like, it's too late now. It's been too long. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have the volume, Ben. What do we do? I can't read it. This was kind of just a wholesome romance slice of life fantasy series I've been quite enjoying. Volume 2 I think ended on a cliffhanger, so I had been really looking forward to getting my Volume 3. I might just bite the bullet and need to try and pick it up somewhere else. Flying Witch 11. This was another pre-order, I think. So I got a big box of Yempros pre-orders and new releases, which is why there's quite a few in here, and I think I filmed it for like a TikTok reel short this way video. I don't know if I posted it on YouTube, maybe. But this was one I had. It is by, wait, this actually isn't Yam Press. This one's vertical. Why did I bring it up on this one? I got like 2 volumes in the box that weren't Yam Press, and this was one of them. Flying Witch, very wholesome slice of life witch series. Not a huge amount happens, it's just very nice, wholesome. I'm definitely conscious of the fact that I was like, this video won't be too long, and then spent 20 minutes talking about one damn volume. Hi, I'm a witch, and my crush wants me to make a love potion too. I'm really looking forward to this one coming out. It's been a year or so since volume 1. I really liked it. I haven't read it yet just because I've been prioritizing reading a lot of my isekai series the past few weeks because it's June, reading lots of isekai. This is definitely one that I do want to try and read. Was it in my basket? It wasn't in my basket, but it's definitely going to be one of my first reads post-June, or maybe even June. Maybe I can slip some in that aren't. Honey Lemon Soda 2. Now this series, I don't know how I feel about it. Well, no, I do. There'd been quite a lot of hype about this one being licensed, and with volume 1, I read a lot of high school romance, so I don't think it's necessarily I find high school romance cringe. But I found this one quite cringy and hard to read. I just think I found it a bit awkward, and the way characters were interacting just sometimes were a bit much. So I think I feel a bit let down because of how much people seem to love it, which is why I like to go into them not knowing anything. Also, this is on like 20 plus volumes in Japan. Wow, that's quite long. I must say though, I do really like the title, Honey Lemon Soda. Honey Lemon Soda, Honey Lemon Soda. It's just Honey Lemon Soda. Magical Girl Instant Volume 1. So I actually did pick this up in store. I think what I started to do, because I've been buying more online from like World Books, Traveling Man Online, and like Sci-Fi. Pretty much if I'm buying stuff in the store, I've tried to like pick up completely random volume 1s that I have no idea about in the slightest. So there are a few in here where I'm like, I grabbed this volume 1 and this is one of them. I think this is fairly new-ish and it's published by Yam Press. So my camera cut off because it overheated a bit and I didn't notice, so I have lost like 10-15 minutes of footage, which isn't the end of the world, but I do need to talk about some volumes again, and now I'm a bit grumpy. So next we have Manner of Death 1, and I just want to say, I think already without reading it, my favourite thing about this volume is its girth. Look how thick that is. I mean, $10.99, $12.99. Look at that. Oh, I haven't read it yet. As I said, I've been picking up random volume 1s when I've been buying stuff in the store. When skilled coroner Dr. Bunakit is called upon to examine the body of a woman who allegedly hanged herself, he soon finds that all evidence points to foul play. That night, a mysterious stranger breaks into his home and demands that he rule the death as suicide. And after he confides in his prosecutor friend about the incident, that friend suddenly goes missing. Dr. Bunakit pins all of his suspicions on a man named Tan, but not only does Tan have a rock-solid alibi, he also volunteers to help uncover the real murderer. So it's a mystery! I'm quite excited. I do like mystery. Also, that cover makes me think of like BL vibes, the way they're like kind of on each other. Is it a BL? That panel's kind of giving BL vibes with what was happening there. Next we have Me and My Beast Boss, Volume 1. And I must say, I really enjoyed it, more than I thought I would. I sure hope it doesn't awaken anything in me. So basically, in this world, we have humans at the bottom, then we have beast folk, and then we have like more beastie folk than beast folk. So normal beast folk, like most beast folk in this world, have just like ears or a tail, that kind of thing. And then you have some beast folk that are like really beastie. Like full-on beastie. Then you have humans at the bottom, so societally, humans are at the bottom, treated like trash. So this woman here works at this company, she is a human secretary, and she has a bit of a gruff attitude, understandably, the way she's treated, but she's really good at her job. She works really hard, and one day she is kind of told, I think she's told, that she is going to become the secretary of this guy, the CEO of her company, who is full beast folk. And it kind of turns into like a really cute, sweet romance where he has a massive crush on her and is like really awkward around her, and it's so cute, but she's also kind of scared of him because he's like a big beast folk. It's like hard to not be. It's kind of really cute and sweet and wholesome a lot. I would definitely recommend it. I really can't wait for volume 2 to come out. Please don't be put off by the fact it's like animals, because it's not quite, it doesn't feel like that, really. It feels a bit like Beast from Beauty and the Beast, which was like my favourite Disney movie growing up. I think that's the reason, do you? Am I learning things about myself that I'm now sharing with you? Oh no. I think we need to move on. Next we have Midnight Rain, which I think is a one-shot by the fact there is no numbers down the spine. Also, they look quite a bit older. I feel like a lot of the BL series that I read tend to be like younger characters, whereas they look a bit older. Ooh, I've just on the back cover it says Throes of Passion. Ooh, that bodes well. Next we have My Coworker Has a Secret Volume 1. This is by Tokyo Pop, which automatically means it's going to be a little bit more pricey. This is about a woman who is quite obsessed with idols, mostly one idol in particular, and she's desperately trying to hide that from her colleagues, because a colleague once made a comment about how she looks down on people who get involved in idols in that kind of way. So she's like, oh yeah, that's not me. I wouldn't do that. But she inadvertently spills the secret to this guy here who she didn't know was going to be a new colleague at the time when she was talking to him, and she kind of tells him everything, and she like hides away on her lunches to watch live streams with the guy, the idol, I think. And then she goes back to work and he turns up and it's like, who's our new starter? And she's like, oh, shit. And she begs him, please don't tell anyone, please don't tell anyone. And he's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. I don't see the issue. He doesn't really understand. And it's quite cute. And then through a series of events that basically they end up living together, she moves into his place because he has a lot of space. And yeah, things are happening. It's quite cute. There was a nice cliffhanger-ish at the end that means I can't wait to get the next volume. I don't actually know when it's out. This is really quite new, and generally Tokyo Pop doesn't release that quickly, so I almost would be surprised if I got another volume this year. Next we have My Dear Curse Casting Vampires 1. Vampires? It sounds like the same papyrus. My Dear Curse Casting Papyrus. I was unsure on this one. I don't think it really gripped me too much. I like the action scenes. That might have been it. I'm not too like invested in the actual story as of yet. Basically, vampires are taking over and there are these units trying to take down vampires, and there's this legend of this vampire that takes down vampires, and this guy is convinced it's true and he's going to try and find her. Basically, she's held in a government facility and he manages to break her free, and they actually become quite a good tag team that the government decides to endorse them hunting down vampires, basically. That's honestly probably most of the plot in this volume. They then go off to fight a vampire or two, and the action scenes are quite fun, but I haven't really been invested in the story yet, which makes me sad because I like vampire stories and I really quite like the grey. Like, I've been enjoying grey covers, considering I'm like, I want colourful covers. This one's grey, but I still like it. So I'm gonna keep trying it. Hopefully I get more invested with the story, is my hope. Finally, we are on to stack number 2. Not sure how long that'll be, considering I had to refilm a little bit of this. Hopefully not horrendously long. On top we have My Happy Marriage 3. This was a good volume. This volume wrapped up the end of the arc that kind of cut off in volume 2. It had everything I wanted. It had drama, it had action, it had confrontation, it had moments that I think everyone had been waiting for, having read volumes 1 and 2. Also, I think it's the end of the light novel is this kind of end of the... I think the end of this arc is the end of the very first light novel, which definitely comes across in this, because after the arc wraps up, we kind of get this like big montage wrap up few pages, and then we've kind of lent into whatever's coming next. But yeah, really good. And yeah, we've started the next arc. We've kind of got all the setup beginning, leading into the next arc, which is exciting. I don't know when 4's out. It doesn't release overly often, this series. It's one that I've like, do I start reading the light novels? But I've started reading the manga. I think at the moment, light novels I want to try and read are the ones where series like I'm Taming the Final Boss, where the manga's complete at 3, but the light novel isn't. Light novel keeps going. So there's more story there. I want more story. Okay, next we have Oshinoko 2, and I have not yet read this. As I said, I was trying to prioritize a lot of my isekai. Also wanted to read a bunch of volume 1s, which is why some of the random volume 1s have been read. Volume 1, yeah, definitely caught me by surprise. It was quite good. My question and my worry is, will it maintain that going on? I know the anime is currently airing or has aired or something, and people have loved it and have gone crazy for it. So I think I should be okay. My hope, I need to avoid hearing anything else about the series, because I feel like I could get spoiled, even not just like being told what happens, just like, oh my gosh, this is great, or oh yeah, it fell off a bit. I don't want to hear any of that. I want to try reading it and seeing what it's like. The Other Worlds books depend on the bean counter 3. This is an isekai BL, and it is a series I have not started reading, but I am going to read before the end of June. This is meant to be really wholesome and lovely, and also it's an isekai, which automatically means it's really, really good. There isn't really any reason that I haven't yet read it. I really like that we've kind of got this grey colour, and then we have like colourful spines. So volume 1 and 2 are pink and blue in some order, and then this one's orange. I really can't wait. I just want to do so much reading. Next, we have Reborn as a Vending Machine, I Now Wander the Dungeon, Volume 1. And I have been so excited for this manga to release. I have bought the light novels for Ben. Ben has had the light novels for ages. Ben has read them and he loves it. It's great, it's silly, it's dumb. And it was kind of one that I've been waiting. Would they license it? A part of me hoped that even though it sounds so dumb and silly, that it would get licensed just because it's an isekai and all isekais get licensed. I'm really sorry, people who don't like isekai, but let me have this one. And volume 1 was what I hoped. It was exactly what I hoped. I hope it maintains some of the things that happen later on in the series from what Ben's told me. Based on, I think, what I talked to Ben about, he said that this is kind of like the first 100, first 80, I can't remember, pages of the light novel, which is probably about right for a light novel manga adaptation. Basically, a guy is isekai'd as a vending machine, and what can he dispense? He can dispense anything that he had ever bought from a vending machine in his previous life. Now, thankfully, he was a bit of a vending machine aficionado, enthusiast, so there's a lot. There's a lot. And it's just so silly. I love fantasy meets weird modern day moments of Earth modern day moments. I love that kind of thing in isekai, and this does it absolutely splendidly, and I can't wait for the second volume. I basically opened this when it arrived and I just read it. It was so happy. Next we have Saviour's Book Cafe in Another World, Volume 5. The final volume in Saviour's Book Cafe, and I must say, I'm happy with how it ended. It's such a nice, heartwarming isekai, and what I love most about this series is I feel like it's a series that has turned a lot of people who would otherwise been not interested in isekai to give isekai a go. Because I think a lot of people, it's like, isekai, it's plain guy, booby, harems, and all that, but this is so not that. It's given some people who wouldn't have tried isekai a chance to try an isekai in a way that they might enjoy, and a lot of them have. I don't think I've seen like any real negativeness about the series, because it's wonderful. It wraps up really nicely. I really liked the little light novel set segment at the back of the volume, which kind of like gave a little bit more about the characters. Just a nice moment between the two main characters is what I mean. I still stand by, I think it might be nice if, because it's only 5 volumes, they ran the first arc for 5 volumes. I feel like the first arc was better than the second arc, and the first arc ended so abruptly and there was such a jump to the next arc. I think it would have been better to just run it the whole way. Maybe they didn't know, they thought they were only going to get 2 volumes, or then they had to continue it, or they thought they were going to get 3. I don't know. But I think that would have been my preference if it had been possible. Still, absolutely would recommend. I was sobbing by it. I was crying so much reading this, and Ben was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, no, I'm not." And I've just realised that I need to choose a manga volume for Ben to read this week, and he's not read this one. Ben, you're gonna read this one, but by the time you watch this, you'll already know though, and hopefully you've read it. Shibanban Super Cute Doggies, and this is a one-shot, I believe. Also, so thin. This took me like 5 minutes to read, 10 minutes max. It is a lot of 4-panel silliness around dogs. However, saying all that, I also would like to preface with, I'm not really a dog person. I am absolutely a cat person. Dogs scare me. I'm really sorry if you like dogs, but dogs really do scare me. But I loved this. This was so lovely, and there were panels where like I actually was laughing, and I had to stop reading to take a moment so I could breathe because I was laughing too hard. I don't know why they make me giggle so much. It was just so lovely to read. Now it's so thin, and it's a 7Cs, and it's full colour, so it is going to be more pricey, but I really, really still want to recommend it. Maybe try and find it secondhand or on sale or something. It was so cute and wholesome. I feel like even if you're not a dog fan, if you're an animal fan of any sort, try it. It was great. It was really funny and cute. It's a shame there's only one. I think I would have happily had another one. Just the same. Our next volume is A Sign of Affection Volume 6. Sign of Affection, as always, a very wholesome, lovely read that just kind of makes you feel calm when you read it, and Volume 6 was no exception. I think a problem I have with Sign of Affection, it was a similar problem I had with Sweat and Soap, is series like this, after a while, I kind of start to get a little bored, which I feel really guilty saying because it is a nice series to read. It is wholesome, it is lovely. I think just sometimes I'm like, I want a bit more drama. It is a good series, it is nice to read. It's such a bit of a nothing series. Like, I think I'm going to struggle to tell you anything that really happened in this volume, but that's not to say I didn't enjoy it. It just, nothing overly big happens in the series, which again, isn't a bad thing. Just after so long, I think I want something a bit juicy. Must say though, probably some of my favourite covers and spines with like the rainbow pastel that we've got going on. Really, really enjoy that. I do like the series, it was the same with Sweat and Soap. It was too wholesome and calm. It was too peaceful. I needed something more. Next we have Something's Wrong With Us 13, and I grabbed this in store because I was missing I found 14 secondhand world books and I needed 13 to fill a gap, though I did get a bit annoyed because it's stickered at $12.99 and I was charged, looking at the receipt it says $14.99, so I was a bit grumpy about that because I probably wouldn't have picked it up if it was $14.99. So I have read 13 and I have not yet read my 14. It definitely feels like we are heading towards a conclusion. I think it is complete at 15 or 16 with like maybe a side story or something. I am definitely enjoying the later half of the series over the former half, and I'm really liking, it feels like we're heading towards trying to discover the truth behind what happened all those years ago, which I have been kind of like, I want to know. Though, have they said? I don't think they've said. I think they're trying to figure it out. I really hope that I've not messed that horrendously up and they're like, oh yeah, they actually revealed it like 5 volumes ago and I just forgot about it. As always, really enjoy seeing all the sweets that they make. They're always so pretty. Look at that one. That one's so nice. It just looks like a sheet or a cloth or something. It still looks lovely. Also, I've just realised what is on the cover. What is he doing to her knee? Nom 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 nom. Next, we have Springtime by the Window 1 and 2. Which was kindly gifted to me by Mainly Manga. This was the series where, if you maybe remember from a previous video, I got a copy of this from World of Books and it arrived a little bit faulty, I think is the right way. Even World of Books are like, it's faulty. So yeah, I got this and I was a bit confused, and then yeah, inside it is actually just volume 1 of Way of the House Husband. So I was a bit annoyed because it was a Tokyo Pop series I found cheap and I was really excited. And Mainly Manga had volumes 1 and 2 and he was not too interested in it, so was more than happy to part ways with it, and apparently is complete in only 2 volumes. So that is a complete series. Yes! Next we have Star Wars Leia, Princess of Alderaan Volume 2. Very, very happy to receive this. I really enjoyed Volume 1. I love Star Wars, and it was nice to see more like lore around Leia. My main issue is a really, really thin volume. It did not take long to read, and I think I got Volume 1 2 years ago. So if this is how much they're putting out every other year, it's not very much very often, unfortunately. Same price as other volumes. I think a problem I have with this compared to like other Star Wars stuff is like High Republic, Edge of Balance. This one, the art style definitely makes me feel more graphic novel than it does manga, just because of the sort of the style it's got going on. I did enjoy the volume. I enjoyed the arc towards the end. There was a bunch of drama and stuff going down. Then like her dad wasn't happy, Bill wasn't happy. It was like, oh, didn't enjoy it. I just wish we could get a bit more often if possible. Next we have Tower of God Volume 2, and I hadn't realised this was out. I must say, Volume 1, I was actually a bit disappointed. It has loads of hype, the series. I know there's an anime, and it goes crazy well on Crunchyroll, but reading Volume 1, it just didn't really... I didn't get it. I didn't understand the hype for it. I don't think the art style is that good. It feels a bit weird. It feels a bit like unpolished, and I'm really picky. I really like clean art styles. Some series that I'm not going to name because it'll upset people, I don't like the art style of because it just doesn't feel clean, and this is another one where I felt the exact same way. Also, the story just didn't grip me either, which also equally bothered me. I hope it gets better. I talked to someone who has read it online, and they said that it does pick up. It can be a bit slow to begin with, so I'm really, really hoping that's the case. Next we have another webtoons. It is True Beauty Volume 2. Now, I did really enjoy this one, but I must say, and same with Tower of God, to be fair, I'm not really that keen on this format from webtoons. I mean, I'm happy we're getting really big, bulky volumes, we're getting lots of content, but they're almost too bulky, and they're a bit like uncomfortable to hold to read. I'm looking forward to reading more. If I hadn't been doing Isekai month, I'd have probably already read this, but it's definitely going to be soon. I also can't believe both Tower of God and True Beauty are both green for Volume 2. That tickles me. Next we have Villainess and the Demon Knight Volume 1. If you were to ask me what my most excited new series print release of 2023 was, I would have said this. And why is that? Well, first off, it's an isekai, it's a villainess, it's a steamship. Yes, all of my favourite things together. So in fact, Villainess and the Demon Knight and Reborn as a Vending Machine were like 2 volumes that I wanted to talk about for Isekai month, but they hadn't released yet, and I was starting to get twitchy, and it started to get to the end of May, and I was like, will they release before June, before I want to do my videos about them? Will I have them in time? Will it be... But they did arrive a few days before the end of May. I'm trying to remember when they arrived. Or mid-May. Did get them in time, thankfully. I did enjoy this. This, however, is like, it does come with warnings. The guy does force himself on her, and she kind of takes it. Yeah, definitely lots of red flags in the way he treats her, but I really, really do like reading about possessive love, because it's really fun and like thrilling to read about. And again, I will again do the whole, just because I enjoy reading it doesn't mean I condone it. I am not myself condoning this sort of relationship. I just really like reading about it. I think Volume 2 comes out August sometime, and I'm very excited for that. Next we have Villains Are Destined to Die 3, and oh my god, this volume is my favourite volume of the series so far, but it also might be one of my favourite volume reads ever. I loved it so much. I feel like we had lots of really great story progression with Penelope and some of the guys, the Roots, especially the ones that lives with her. Also, the artwork in this was stunning. There were moments where I had to just stop reading for a moment so I could just take in the art, and I've never felt quite that way about the art in a manga or manhwa, anything I've really read, but this one just like, I'm gonna find some of the panels. Potential spoilers and all that. Skip ahead if you feel like it. I mean, this one I've seen other people talk about because of how much they loved it. Look at that. Look at that panel. Absolutely gorgeous. And I feel like it looks better in person as well. And there is one other panel that that one there, it looks so good. It looks so nice, so pretty. And yeah, I really enjoyed the progression with her and like this guy especially, but also the guy that she saved from the slave auction. There were some wonderful moments. I also kind of like how it's ended. We've kind of hit a bit of action, a bit of drama towards the end of the volume with the route that she's desperately trying to avoid, which is which is a prince that's like a bit of a brute, I believe. And it kind of hints at the end of the volume we're going to see more of him in the next one. I can't wait. I stayed up till like 2 a.m. when I had a 9 a.m. meeting just to read it. I just really, really enjoyed it. I really, really desperately would recommend the series. It's an easy press. We've also got colourful spines. Volume 1 was pink, Volume 2 was yellow, now we've got purple. I'm hoping for a blue or green yet next. I haven't checked to see what it is. Really, really, really love the series. Definitely. I think it might be like broaching. It's probably one of my favourite isekai. It might be broaching like top 10 favourite series. Flat out. I think of just all the villainess stuff that I've read, which is a lot because I love villainess stuff, this I think has just been one that's really done the trope well. And I really, really like that the guys have an affection meter above their head. They've got a little percentage to say how much they like her. So a lot of villainess series, often they don't really understand that the guy's starting to like them more, but this is like a visual representation that she can see that actually actions that she is doing is making them like her more. Absolutely do recommend, please try it. Okay, next we have What This World Is Made Of Volume 1. I unfortunately don't have anything to say about this because it was another one I picked up. Let's just grab Volume 1's. I have not yet read it. It is a new release, I think, by Yen Press. No family, no home, and no savings. The Nakata brothers, Kanade and Kaname, have lost it all. So when a mysterious app offers to help them find lucrative work, what choice do they have but to sign up? Introduced to a gamified system of bounties, the two soon come face to face with the odd in odd jobs, the dangerous creatures they must now fight. But Kanade and Kaname have no choice. To make money, they must have to take down these monsters called worlds or die trying. I like the thought of gamified stuff because that's like the kind of thing I like about isekai sometimes, like the stats and stuff. So that actually does bode well. There are some other series that I like because they've got stats and stuff, but they're not isekai, like Solo Leveling and balls, what's it called? Cheat Skill Board. It's kind of like Solo Leveling, to be fair. Next we have White Cat's Revenge, plotted from the Dragon King's lap 4. An isekai. This was in my basket and I was going to read it before I took it out for this video. I really like this one, except it takes like a year, 2 years for a volume to come out. It's been ages since I got volume 3, so I hope I can remember what was happening. Person is isekai'd. For some reason in this fantasy world is like loved by the fairies, and the fairies in this world is like everything, all the magic and stuff is because of the fairies. So because all the fairies that control kind of everything like her, she kind of has a lot of control over stuff but doesn't really realise it or understands it and tries to not do it. But also no one else seems to know. There's more to it. I'm explaining it poorly because it's been years since I read a volume. I'm so sorry. Can't wait. I'm going to read this before the end of June as well. Oh, I am starting to try and run along a little bit because it is so hot in the UK at the moment. My phone keeps overheating and I have had to stop and start recording like 4 times now and I'm losing my mind. So we don't have many volumes left. In fact, I think this is actually the last volume I have read, so I won't be able to say much about the rest. Anyway, next we have Yakuza Bias Volume 1. This is a new release, and I really kind of like the sort of sheen on the cover, and also the fact we've kind of got a hollow, shiny silver thing going on the spine. That surprised me. I quite liked that. So this is by Kodansha, and this is about a member of the Yakuza who discovers idols and likes them. He goes to a concert with like the boss's daughter to this idol concert, and he's enraptured, he's caught, he loves it, and he gains a bias. I don't fully know the terminology. I think he has a bias, which is a person, and like becomes obsessed. It definitely gives me vibes of like Where the House Husband and the Geeky ex-Hitman, Hitman Geek, something like that, where it's like a hardened criminal who kind of falls into a different kind of world, in this case, idols. It was quite a fun read. It had the like silly slapstick moments where like super serious guy turns up to buy like a card with a picture of the guy they like, the idol they like on it. I do think I'd recommend it. Again, it's quite thin, so maybe see if you can find it on sale. Maybe? Or secondhand, that sort of deal. But I am going to definitely try and look out for more volumes. Yokohama Station SF, Volume 1. This was another random Volume 1 pickup. Yokohama Station has swallowed 99% of mainland Japan. 200 years ago, Yokohama Station, which had been under constant construction, developed the ability to self-propagate. Now, with nearly all of Honshu, the main island of Japan, consumed by the growing station, the population has been split into two groups. Those who live inside the sprawl, with fare cards embedded in their brains, and the few who persist on the remaining scraps of untouched land. Hiroto has lived his whole life on the outside, but when an exile from the station entrusts him with a mission and a ticket, he ventures into the ominous belly of the beast for the first time. That sounds kind of silly. It looks really serious, but that doesn't sound... It feels like a hard to take serious story. I'm kind of intrigued in the whole, like, station sprawling. That sounds kind of weird. I'm looking forward to read that. I have a plan. Once I've finished Isekai month, I want to just take a full day, so probably a weekend, and like from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, I just try and read as many volume 1s as I can, because I have quite a few unread ones now, and maybe I'll just include stuff like that, definitely. Final volume in the haul. Gosh darn it, it's taken way longer than I thought it would. We have Yoshino Zukara, The Frog in the World Does Not Know the Ocean 1. This is the last volume I was given by Mainly Manga, and I was like just picking random volume 1s from his selection, and I chose this one, and he was happy because he didn't like it. He was glad to be rid of it, and I was like, oh no, have I made a mistake? Again, I don't know anything about it, so I hope I've not made a horrendous mistake. 32-year-old Naruhiko Tono has been scraping by as a manga creator for 10 years, and when his latest series gets cancelled, he finds himself at crossroads. Naruhiko's always had his sights set on fantasy, but this time around his editors got another idea. A slice-of-life story set in a remote village not unlike the one where he was born and raised. Could a return to his roots be exactly the change of pace our reclusive manga creator needs? I quite like series where it's like a manga creator trying to create manga. That's always a fun read. So I hope just Mainly Manga and I have different tastes. I think that's my hope. And that is the haul done. Oh my gosh, that was a bit of a pain. I have now been recording for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just because I had to keep stopping and starting because of the heat. The house isn't even that warm compared to outside. It's like 10 degrees cooler, but still I have a sensitive phone apparently. I won't take too long. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you're interested in early access, check out my channel memberships. Also be sure to check out my affiliate and social media links down below, and remember to use code Caketinz if you do a sci-fi order for 10% off. Whoop whoop! Especially for some of these volumes where I'm like, don't pay retail, go check it out on Sci-Fi, they have some good deals. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye!